Hello, everybody, and welcome to NOSC Alameda. Today we will be going over your Reserve Affiliation Success Workshop. Reserve Enlisted Assignments, Reserve Pay and Benefits, Reserve Programs and Policies, Reserve Obligation and Individual Ready Reserve, Mobilization, Enlisted Advancement System, Reserve Enlisted Incentives, Commissioning Programs, and Reserve Retirement. Reserve Affiliation Success Workshop, Reserve Enlisted Assignments. Topic learning objectives. State the parts and purpose of the Reserve Enlisted Assignment System. Describe the test to determine personnel eligibility for program under the Reserve Enlisted Advancement System. Describe the CMS ID detailing process for Reserve Enlisted personnel. References. Navy Reserve Personnel Manual, Resperman MTech 1001.5, Administrative Procedures for Drilling Reservists and Participating Members of the Individual Ready Reserve. Replace ComNav Res 4 Instruction 1001.5 and incorporates multiple additional CNFR instructions. Reserve Functional Area and Sex RFAS codes, Resperman 1000, Tech 010, Manpower Availability Status, MAS codes, Resperman 3060, Tech 010, and Individual Mobilization Status, IMS codes, Resperman 3060, Tech 020. Centralized assignments. CNRFC N12 is the sole assignment authority for all enlisted billets. Reserve billet requisition and CMS ID is now operative on a quarterly cycle rather than a monthly cycle. Reserve unit role. Navy Reserve units are responsible for monitoring their RUAD and submitting billet recommendations via their NOSC, coordinating with their OSO for billet changes and personnel assignments. The Unit Corps Counselor shall have knowledge of CMS ID, Reserve Billet Assignments policies, and be able to assist sailors in submission of CMS ID applications. NOSC role. Transfers. The NOSC will coordinate with the RCC to issue orders for the following. Transfer to Individual Ready Reserves. Active Status Pool, ASP, which is the sailor's request, and Voluntary Training Unit, VTU. Transfers to the VTU for high-year tenure may require an approval from PERS 913. Refer to Milperman 1160 Tech 120 for details. Transfer to the Administrative Processing Unit, APU. Those are administrative separations, ADSEPs, unsatisfactory drill participation, and physical fitness assessment failures. NOS to NOS transfer. Prior to relocating, enlisted sailors shall apply in CMS ID for a billet attached to the NOS nearest to the new location. The attaching unit will submit a true exchange via RFMT. CNRFC N12 will cut orders based on the member's move date. Enlisted assignment process. New accession. Enlisted sailors accessed via CTO or recruiting shall submit a CMS ID application upon reporting to their NOS. Sailor driven. Approaching PRD. Current status in IAP, impending geographic move, and applying for a local billet if cross-assigned status. Assignment coordinators may reassign sailors based on the best fit. For informational purposes, CMS ID is now known as My Navy Assignment. Billet-driven process. Start. Billet and member qualifying research. Sailor submits billets in MNA selection phase. If you are selected, then your orders will be cut via RFMT. The NOSC will perform a loss and you will be gained to your new NOSC. Then you will become a drilling reservist. Career Management System and Interactive Detail, which is now My Navy Assignments, facilitates applications for orders from CNRFC N12 assignment coordinators. Fully eligible RFAS code higher tenure sailors are allowed to submit their own applications. Command leadership, CCC, and UCC may submit comments on the applications. Member may submit a PRD extension via My Navy Assignments. You may apply for up to 7 choices. Apply 6 months prior to your PRD. Multiple sailors are submitting applications for each billet. Selections made after the cycle closes. The calendar can be found on My Navy Assignments. CNRFC and 12 assignment coordinators make selections based on needs and desires of the members, career progression, special needs, geographic location, member qualifications, which is NEC utilization, pay grade, RFAS code alignment, and needs of the Navy, operational commitments, guidance from senior leadership. Application results are available following CNRFC and 12 assignment selection phase. If not eligible, do not reapply for the same billet prior to correcting disqualifying factors. Quarterly process begins anew if not selected for a billet. See NOSC or unit career counselor with any My Navy assignment problems or concerns. Billet requisition codes: WAS, Women at Sea Shipboard Billets; MCA, Manning Control Authority; SSC, Shore Type Duty; PRI, Priority of Billet; NAC, NAC required for the billet; UIC, Unit Identification Code; Activity, Command Name, and Location, Command Geographic Location. Status codes: A, applied for billet; N, qualified but not selected; I, ineligible for job; S, selected for job; T, taken; V, voided; and P, job pending. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the Command Career Counselor. Reserve Affiliation Success Workshop, Reserve Pay and Benefits. Topics: Learning Objectives. 1. State the references which govern basic pay benefits available to Navy reservists. 2. Describe the basic pay and benefits available to Navy reservists. References: Navy Reserve Personnel Manual, MTAC 1001.5, Beeper's Instruction 1001.39, Administrative Procedures for Navy Reservists, and NAVPERS 15560, Military Personnel Manual, MPM 1133090, New Accession Training NAT Program. References: Navy Personnel Command, Pay Benefits, Navy Reserve Incentives, DFAS Military Pay, Military Compensation OSD. Navy Reserve Drill Pay. Normal drill weekend pay is the equivalent of 4 days active duty base pay. 2 drill periods, minimum 4 hours each per day for 2 days. Pay per drill is active duty based divided by 30. 1 January 2019 pay tables utilized for calculation. E4 and over 8 years active duty month base pay, $2,664. Drill weekend pay, $355.20. 4 drills times $88.80 per drill. E5 over 12 years active duty month base pay, $3,396.60. Drill weekend pay, $452.88. 4 drills times $113.22 per drill. E6 over 16 years active duty monthly base pay, $3,990. Drill weekend pay, $532, which is 4 drills times $133 per drill. Navy Reserve active duty pay. Selected reservists receive full active duty base pay for each day of active duty performed, annual training, and active duty for training, active duty for special work, mobilization, individual augmentation, recall, full-time support. Recall: FTS are subject to the same re-enlistment quality control measures as other active duty sailors. Inactive duty for training, IADT, active duty for basic training, RTC, and A or C schools for non-prior service members. For more information about active duty pay, visit NPC Pay Benefits. Basic benefits: commissary and military exchange privileges, unlimited as long as the sailor has a valid military ID card. Medical and dental, while on active duty orders, approximately $3,200 in medical dental benefits annually, dental exams and teeth cleanings and physical exams. Life insurance, SGLI, FSGLI, and available coverage identical to active component. Uniforms enlisted only, exchange on a one-for-one basis when uniform becomes unserviceable. TRICARE Reserve Select. TRICARE Reserve Select is a premium-based plan available worldwide for qualified selected reserve members of the Ready Reserve and their families. TRICARE Reserve Select satisfies the minimum essential coverage under the Affordable Care Act. Eligible beneficiaries. Available to members of the Selected Reserve and their families who meet the following qualifications: must not be on active duty orders, not covered under the Transitional Assistance Management Program, and not eligible for or enrolled in the Federal Employees Health Benefits (FEHB) program or currently covered under FEHB either under their own eligibility or through a family member. If you have any questions regarding TRICARE, please reach out to your medical department. Reserve Affiliation Success Workshop, Reserve Programs and Policies. Topic Learning Objectives. Identify the major programs and policies impacting members of the Navy Reserve. Describe the significant elements of the Navy Reserve programs and policies. Discuss resources to learn more information about Navy Reserve program and policies. References, Medical TRICARE Reserve Select, Dental, TRICARE Dental Program, and Thrift Savings Plan, TSP. Overview, Medical Services, Dental Services, and TSP. TRICARE Reserve Select, premium-based plan available worldwide for qualified selected reserve members and their families. Premiums based on a member-to-member and family. Additional costs, annual outpatient deductible, individual or family. Cost share, percent or fixed amount of charge for service. Access care from any TRICARE authorized provider, hospital, or pharmacy. Program, TDP. Same coverage as active duty family members. Member coverage available for CELRES not on active duty. Family member coverage available regardless of sponsor CELRES or active duty status. Family member coverage is available with or without sponsor enrollment. TDP premiums are determined by the selected enrollment plan, single or family, and the military status of the sponsor. Government pays 60% of the member's monthly premium for selected reserve and IRR members in a special mobilization category. Member is responsible for the remaining 40%. Members gained on active duty are automatically disenrolled from TDP due to eligibility for active duty dental benefits. IRR members in the category other than special mobilization category and all family member enrollees are responsible for 100% of the monthly premium. TSP is a retirement savings and investment plan on federal employees and members of the uniformed service, including the Ready Reserve. The TSP is a defined contribution plan, meaning that the retirement income you receive from your TSP account will depend on how much you put into your account during your working years and the earnings accumulate over time. You may elect to contribute any dollar amount or percent of basic pay up to the annual limit established by the Internal Revenue Code. Reserve Affiliation Success Workshop, Reserve Obligation and Individual Ready Reserve. Topic Learning Objectives. State the essential requirements of the Military Service Obligation, MSO. Describe the types of reserve service available to complete MSO or for continuing service after MSO. Describe the requirement for mandatory drilling obligation. Describe the requirements for satisfactory reserve participation. Describe the requirements for individual ready reserve participation. Verify submission of civilian employer information to Navy Reserve. Discuss mobilization opportunities for reservists, including IRR. References, Buber's Instruction 1001.39 Administrative Procedures for Navy Reservists, NAVCRS 15560, Military Personnel Manual 1133010, First Enlistment and Military Service Obligation, and MPM 1133090, New Accession Training Program. CNRFC, New Accession Training. OPNAV Instruction 1000.26, Fulfilling the Military Service Obligation, MSO. Military Service Obligation. MSO is 8 years for initial enlistment or appointment on or after 1 June 1984. This applies to every service member. This is mandated by federal law, Title 10 U.S. Code. MSO not served on active duty is served in either the selected reserves or IRR. Reserve obligation termination date is in Block 6 of your DD-214 and or on the initial service contract. Reserve categories. Selected reserve, required to drill, pay and retirement points, required to do AT, eligible for active duty for training, ADT, eligible for active duty for special work, ADSW, and subject to mobilization. Individual readiness reserves, IRR. Volunteer training unit, required to drill for points only and cannot perform ATs. Active status full ASP. They are non-drilling component of the IRR. They cannot perform ATs and they complete qualifying non-residential courses for retirement points only. Drilling Reserve obligations. New affiliations in the Navy Reserve incur a minimum drilling obligation. New accession training NAT sailors have a 6-year drilling obligation starting the date member reports to recruit training. Bonus and incentive recipients have 3 or 6-year drilling obligations depending on the re-enlistment contract executed for the bonus or incentive. Drilling participation requirements. Complete at least 40 to 48 of inactive duty training IDT period each anniversary year. Perform required AT each fiscal year for CELRES only. Complete physical examinations and medical updates as required. Keep their unit and NACO advised of current address and phone number. Receive and respond to all official correspondence and comply with involuntary recall to active duty orders. Termination of drilling status. Sailors may request to transfer to the IRR ASP after completion of their drilling requirements. Unsatisfactory performers will be processed for administrative separation. Sailors may request transfer to the active duty or full-time support via the Career Waypoints conversion module. NATs will not normally be approved until completion of contract of drilling obligation. However, waivers have been approved. Transfer to a different branch of the military requires submission of a conditional release, DD Form 368, initiated by the recruiter. IRR ASP participation requirements. No drill requirement. They must update recall information annually as required. Virtual screening program. They must meet requirements in accordance with Beeper's Instruction 1001.39 and MPM 1001, TAC 150. They must maintain uniforms in serviceable condition. They are required to physically muster when ordered. They are automatically considered for promotion, officers only, and eligible for involuntary recall to active duty, Title 10 U.S. Code. Enlisted with less than 20 qualifying years service. No minimum annual participation is required. However, if the level of participation results in non-qualifying year for retirement, member may become ineligible for re-enlistment or extension. Officer with less than 20 years qualifying service and completed MSO. At least 27 points required per anniversary year, includes 15 gratuity points to maintain good standing. Non-participation will result in an administrative action. Officer and enlisted with 20 years or more of qualifying service, 50 points required per anniversary year. Enlisted sailors are subject to reserve higher tenure policy under Milperman 1160 TEC 120. IRR benefits. You get identification cards for reserve members and their dependents, military exchange and commissary unlimited use with your ID, MWR unlimited access with Category C facilities, perform defined periods of active duty, volunteer mobilization opportunities exist for qualifying IRR sailors. Involuntary mobilization. Must be ready to mobilize within 30 days of alert notification. Delay, deferment, and exception requests are reviewed by DD and E Board. Family, civilian career, financial hardship, or VA disability are not automatic exemptions. Case-by-case basis, as with active duty deployment. It is your obligation to maintain mobilization readiness. Notify PERS 93 of any changes in physical or medical conditions which could affect your readiness. Civilian employer information. All Navy Reserve members are required to register information about their civilian employer and job skills in order for the DoD to meet 3 different requirements as defined in law. The Department of Defense is required to give consideration to civilian employees necessary to maintain national health, safety, and interest when considering members for recall. Ensure that members with critical civilian skills are not retained in numbers beyond those needed for the skills. Inform employers of reservists of their rights and responsibilities under the Uniform Service Employment and Reemployment Act, USERA. CEI data for CELRES and IRRBT sailors is entered via CAC-enabled NSIPs. Reserve Affiliation Success Workshop, Mobilization. Topic learning objectives. State the general Navy policy regarding reserve mobilization. Discuss the importance of mobilization to the mission of the Navy Reserve. References: NAVPERS 15560 Military Personnel Manual, NAVADMIN 007 TAC 07 Mobilization Deferment Policy for Transition from Active Component to Reserve Component, CNRFC Mobilization and Readiness Code N3, OPNAV Instruction 3060.7 Mobilization Demobilization Guide. PERS TAC 46 Mobilization Policy, BUPERS Instruction 1001.39 Administrative Procedures for Navy Reservists, and Navy Reserve Personnel Manual MTAC 1001.5. Navy Reserve Mission. Navy Reserve Mission ready now, anytime, anywhere to deliver strategic depth and operation capability to the Navy, Marine Corps, and Joint Forces. The mission of the U.S. Navy Reserve Force is to provide mission-capable units and the individuals of the Navy Marine Corps team through the full range of operations from peace to war. General Mobilization Policy. The authority for mobilization of the Navy Reserve is contained in 10 U.S.C. In addition, 10 U.S.C. gives the President authority to mobilize selected reservists for 270 days with authority to extend for another 90 days. Mobilization. Selected Reserve Mobilization Policy. The selected reserve supports mobilization requirements, so essentially to initial wartime missions as to require priority over the reserve categories. The selected reserve is the principal source of trained manpower, ships, and aircraft to increase the active forces. Units of the selected reserve are designed primarily to train and mobilize as units. Secretary of the Navy may approve the mobilization of individual members of the selected reserve when circumstances dictate. RASW, Enlisted Advancement System. Topic Learning Objectives. Describe the enlisted advancement process. State the parts of the final multiple score. Describe the test to determine eligibility for advancement. References: BUPERS Instruction 1430.16. Bibliography for Advancement. Catalog of non-residential training courses. Navy Enlisted Occupational Standards and Navy Enlisted Classifications Manual, NAVPERS 18068. NAVADMIN 272/08 Enlisted Leadership Development Program. NAVADMIN 085/18 Professional Military Knowledge Eligibility Exam. NAVADMIN 312/18 RISCA. Enlisted Community Manager Selective Reserves, NPM 1160, TAC 120, High Year Tenure Active and Reserve. OPNAV Instruction 6110.1 Physical Readiness Program and Non-Residential Training Courses Administration. Definition: Service and Pay Grade, SIPG. The time required to serve in a particular pay grade in order to be eligible for the next pay grade. For inactive reserve, TIR is same as SIPG. Time and rate equals SIPG plus drilling service and pay grade, DSPG. Terminal eligibility date, TED, is the date to which sailor service's pay grade is computed for advancement purposes. SIPG equals TED exam, TIR date sailor. Time and rate eligibility. Time and rate eligibility data, the date from when the SIPG is computed to determine eligibility for advancement to the next higher pay grade. Minimum TIR requirements are as follows. Please note, sailors may request 1-year time and rate waiver with an EP on the latest periodic evaluation, providing no mark other than EP has been received since. Time and rate date. Pay grade E1 through E9, advancement or entry during which period, and assigned time and rate date. Definitions: limiting date, the last day of the advancement cycle on which an individual may be advanced after selection from a Navy-wide advancement exam. Under no circumstances is an advancement effective after the limiting date without approval of NAVPERS Com PERS 811/812. CO has final authority over frocking and advancement. Profile sheet identifies selection for advancement, not execution thereof. Advancement eligibility requirements: must be recommended by the COOIC, must meet minimum time and rate, must complete the PMKEE requirements for current pay grade, must be in proper path of advancement, must meet special requirements for certain ratings, and must successfully complete service schools as required, evaluation and pay grade within computation period for advancement cycle. Prize R and temporary pay grade reservists may have additional rating requirements and deadlines by contract. Not be selected for LDO or CWO, not have pending requests for voluntary vice HYT mandated retirement requests, enlisted warfare qualifications as applicable, pass Navy-wide advancement exam, Physical readiness per OPNAV instruction 6110.1. Advancement eligibility requirements. PMKEE will be available on My Navy portal. Sailors must pass 100 questions PMKEE prior to exam administration month and the participation in the Navy-wide advancement exam. Sailors must achieve a passing score of 80% or higher in 5 topic areas. You're required to pass only 1 per pay grade. Advancement exams. Final multiple score, PMA breakdown, your ITA, and RISCA. Note, EP, MP, and P are recommendations for promotion advancement. Progressing and SP are not a recommendation. Note, for each evaluation within the PMA computation period, subtract the RISCA value from the ITA value. If the difference is negative or 0.04 or less, no additional points are added to the evaluation value. P&A points. What are they and how are they determined? Pass, not advance points. Max P&A points per cycle, 3. Exam standard score P&A points. Top 25% are awarded 1.5. PMA P&A points. Top 25% are awarded 1.5. P&A counted for the last 3 cycles. Exam schedule. Selected reserves. Reserve sailors participate in the command schedule advancement exams during the months of February for E7, E6, E5, E4, and August for E6, E5, and E4. Preparing for advancement exams. Start early. Don't wait until the last minute. Make sure all eligibility requirements are met. Make sure you understand sustained superior performance on evaluations. Ensure you know about the tools to help you succeed. Bibliographies, which is downloading, listing, and reference material, rating topics, subtopics, schools, profile sheets. Verify all information is current and accurate on your worksheet and answer sheet. My Navy portal. Here is an example of a profile sheet. Advancement issues, backdating awards or other documents not accepted for advancement exam point determinations. Recomputation of final multiple. If missed points are discovered after the results are published, contact your ESO. MPM 1430 Tech 020 advancement after reduction in rate. Accorded deserving members on a case-by-case basis. Conviction of multiple offenses render member ineligible. Submission between 12 to 36 months following reduction in rate. Advancement and Career Development Boards. An effective CDB provides enlisted sailors the opportunity for optimal development of their professional skills, both military and technical, thereby enhancing unit readiness, individual upward mobility, job satisfaction, and ultimately the retention of better qualified sailors. Reserve Affiliation Success Workshop, Career Development Boards. Topic Learning Objectives. List the members of a CDB. State the requirements of a CDB. References. OPNAV Instruction 1040.11. Navy Enlisted Retention and Career Development Programs in NAVPERS 15878 Lima, Command Career Counselor Handbook. Command level CDBs. You will have the Command Master Chief or SEL, CCC Unit Career Counselor, ESO and SIMEO as needed, paid personnel as needed, Leading Chief Petty Officer, and LPO, Department or Divisional CC. If Officer Programs, Department or Divisional Officer, and CDB Visiting Officer. For departmental level CDBs, you will have the Chief Petty Officer, Department or Division Unit Career Counselor, ESO and SIMEO as needed, Paid Personnel Specialist as needed, and Chief Petty Officer or LPO. CDBs are required for reporting within 4 drill weekends of reporting on board. Departmental level CDB is biannually thereafter. Command level CDB when recommended by the department level CDB. 24 months prior to HYT and then submitting a HYT waiver request. Upon requesting a change of rating, upon requesting an A school, upon requesting transition from RC to AC or RC to FTS. Command CDBs are required for commissioning programs, special programs, PRD or separation, temporary rate personnel retained, month CDBs to ensure progress and completion of requirements to make temporary rate permanent, other reasons, and upon members' request. Reserve Affiliation Success Workshop, Reserve Enlisted Incentives. Topic: Learning Objectives. Describe the types of educational benefits available to members of the Navy Reserve. Describe the types of bonus incentive benefits available to members of the Navy Reserve. Discuss how Reserve Enlisted Incentive programs contribute to force stabilization. References: Res Permin 1100 Tech 010 Reserve Incentive Programs, Res Permin 1100 Tech 020 Reserve Enlisted Incentives, ComNav Res for Instruction 1780.1 Montgomery GI Bill Selected Reserve, Chapter 1606 Basic and Kicker Program Policy Guidance, Beeper's Instruction 1780.1 GI Bill Education Benefits Program, Beeper's Note 1780 Post 9/11 GI Bill. Montgomery GI Bill Selected Reserve. Eligibility criteria. Must incur a 6-year selected reserve obligation. Complete an initial active duty for training IADT. New accession training NAT Basic Training and A School. Cost to member $0. Entitlement and usage. 36 months of full-time benefits at $368 per month as of 1 October 2015. Must maintain satisfactory participation in a drill status. Retain entitlement if mobilized. Multiple entitlement may be eligible for multiple educational program benefits. Federal law limits aggregate benefits to 48 months regardless of eligibility. Eligibility criteria for the Montgomery GI Bill Selected Reserve Kicker. You must be entitled to the MIG SR basic benefits including 6-year obligation. You must be serving in a critical specialty as listed in the current bonus message. Cost to member $0. Entitlement and usage. 36 months of full-time benefits at $200 per month in addition to basic benefits. If member is eligible for active duty Montgomery GI Bill or post 9/11 GI Bill that was converted from active duty MGIB can elect to use with this program. Post 9/11 GI Bill Chapter 33. The post 9/11 GI Bill is for service members with at least 90 days of aggregate active duty service on or after September 11, 2001. Individuals discharged with a service-connected disability after 30 days. You must receive an honorable discharge to be eligible for your post 9/11 GI Bill. Full benefits available after 36 months of qualifying active service. Tiered eligibility based on service less than 36 months. CELRES qualifying service includes mobilization, voluntary or involuntary, active duty for special work, active duty operational support, active duty training, excluding AT and IDT, any kind of drills, or funeral honors duty. This benefit provides up to 36 months of education benefits. Generally, benefits are payable for 15 years following release from active duty. Tuition and fees directly to the school. Full tuition and fees for in-state public schools. Annual cap for private and foreign schools. Academic year 2013 through 2014 cap is $19,198.31. A monthly housing allowance based on the basic allowance of housing for an E5 with dependents at the location of the school. You or your spouse will not receive the housing allowance while attending on active duty. 1/2 national BAH average for E5 with dependents for attending exclusively online courses. An annual books and supply stipend of $1,000 paid proportionately based on enrollment. Transfer of education benefits may be available with additional obligated service, active and reserve. Education Benefits Program. The Post 9/11 GI Bill, Montgomery GI Bill Active Duty, Montgomery GI Bill Selected Reserve, Survivor Independent Education Assistance Program, and VA Education Benefits Program Benefits Comparison. Navy Credentialing Opportunities Online. Navy Cool. What is Cool? Cool Credentialing Opportunities Online explains how Navy sailors can meet civilian certifications and license requirements related to their rating and jobs. Use Cool to get background information about civilian licensures and certifications, identify licenses and certifications relevant to the Navy rating and jobs, learn how to fill gaps between Navy training and experience in civilian credentialing requirements, learn about resources available to sailors that can help them gain civilian job credentials. Credentialing requirements information currently includes enlisted ratings only. Warrant officers and officers can obtain general information on credentialing from the following U.S. Department of Labor website. Reserve Affiliation Success Workshop, Commissioning Programs. Topic: Learning Objectives. Identify available commissioning programs. State primary references for determining eligibility for commissioning programs. Discuss personnel eligibility and competitive applications for commissioning programs. Reference OpNav instruction 1420.1 enlisted to officer commissioning programs, MPM 1131, officer recruiting. Commissioning programs definition, opportunities for enlisted personnel to obtain a commission in the U.S. Navy. Basic requirements. Citizenship, no personnel shall be appointed to commission grade in regular Navy or Reserve who is not a citizen of the U.S. Physical, must be qualified in accordance with NAVMed P Tech 117. Aviation must have at least 20/30 uncorrected vision, correctable to 20/20. Normal color and depth perception. Basic requirements. Age. All applicants must be qualified under current reference. Varies by program. Always look up current program requirements. Testing. Officer aptitude rating. OAR. Math, verbal, and VT. Mechanical comprehension testing. MCT. Aviation Selection Test Battery, ASTB, USNA, MESEPS Day 21, SAT, ACT. Other requirements: be of good moral character, CO recommendation, no NJP court-martial or civil convictions, and have a security clearance. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your command career counselor. Reserve Affiliation Success Workshop, RASW, Reserve Retirement. Topic learning objectives. Describe the test to determine personnel eligibility for Fleet Reserve and Reserve retirement programs. Describe the test to compute retirement or retainer pay. Describe the test to counsel personnel on disability, non-disability retirement programs. Identify computation for disability severance pay. References: Buper's Instruction 1001.39 and Administrative Procedures for Navy Reservists, Reserve Retirement Procedures, Buper's Instruction 1750.11 Survivor Benefit Plan, Military Compensation, OSD, MPM 1800 Retirements, NAVCompt Form 2274 Pre-Retirement Pay Information. Reserve Retirement, Reserve Service Requirements. To qualify for non-regular retired pay at or after age 60, a member must have, unless otherwise provided by law, completed 20 years of qualifying service. Applications should be submitted no less than 6 months or no more than 18 months in advance from the desired date. Satisfactory service. A member of the Navy Reserve must earn a minimum of 50 retirement points in an anniversary year to be credited with a year of satisfactory service for retirement purposes. The requirement for a qualifying year for retirement purposes should not be confused with a satisfactory drill participation. Satisfactory participation consists of attendance of a minimum of 85% of all regularly scheduled active duty, AT, 1 point for each day of active duty or AT including travel time. Drill periods, 1 point for each authorized drill attended, pay or non-pay status. A maximum of 4 retirement points may be credited for each drill weekend. Drills are usually 2 4-hour periods per day on a weekend. Reserve retirement, correspondence courses. Varying point credited for completion of approved correspondence courses. Membership points, 15 points credited for each complete year of active status membership in a reserve component. Note, refer to current directives limiting the number of points that can be earned per anniversary year from drills, correspondence courses, and membership. After completing 20 years of qualifying service, a member of the Navy Reserve may continue in Navy Reserve, USNR, TAC-R, increase retired pay by accruing additional points and adding years of service, longevity, that increase base sick pay, also potential for continued advancement and promotion. 2. Request transfer to the Retired Reserve, USNR, TAC retired. No additional points or years of service may be accrued. Resign or be discharged. Assume civilian status until eligible for retired pay in the form of pension upon reaching age 60. These members are not placed on retired lists or subject to recall for active duty. They are considered former members and are not entitled to a retirement identification card. Retirement pay percentage is based on the total points accumulated prior to the receiving retirement pay at the age of 60. NDAA 2008 authorizes NDAA 2008 authorizes non-regular retirement pay to commence before age 60 based on active duty service performed on or after 29 January 2008. NDAA 2015 modified the calculation of active duty performed to account for periods spanning 2 fiscal years. Notification is forwarded in advance to advise you how to submit an application for retirement pay at age 60. If you have not received notification 4 months prior to your 60th birthday, please contact PERS 912. Benefits and privileges of reserve retire without pay. Reservists who have enough points to retire but not have yet reached their 60th birthday. 1. Uniforms entitled to wear prescribed uniforms on appropriate occasions. 2. Military title permitted to use military title subject to certain restrictions and exercise of good judgment. Reserve Component Survivor Benefit Plan. Upon receipt of Notice of Eligibility letter, reservists are eligible to participate in the RCSBP, which provides survivor benefits based on the percentage of their future retired pay as a monthly annuity to their beneficiary. Non-participation in the RCSBP will result in no payment to the beneficiary in the event that the reservist dies prior to receiving retirement pay. Members must make their election within 90 days of receipt of their NOE. Veterans Group Life Insurance. The VGLI program provides insurance by facilitating the conversion of SGLI identification card entitled to a Blue Armed Forces Identification Card DD Form 2N Reserve, which is the identification purposes only. Travel. Members of the Retired Reserve who have not reached age 60 are eligible to travel space available within the continental U.S. and to certain U.S. territories by DoD-owned or controlled aircraft. Benefits and privileges of reserve retired with pay. One eligible for the same benefits entitled to reservists retired without pay. Healthcare eligible to receive medical care for themselves and eligible family members at uniformed service medical facilities on a space available basis and from civilian medical sources. Travel worldwide transportation when space is available via AMC for member and eligible family members. Survivor benefits plan. If the reservist does not participate in RCSBP during the 90-day enrollment period, they must wait until age 60 and may enroll in the SBP. Base facilities entitled to use commissaries, exchange theaters, recreational facilities, overseas dependent schools, and post office of uniformed service facilities. Please direct recommendations for changes or updates to the RASW via your NRA or ISIC to CNRFC N15. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your command career counselor.